Shit, okay. That's cold. That's freezing. Oh, I hate cold tea. Hey guys, it's the Gamer Untamed, and it has been, well over a year since I last posted a gaming related video. Segue for a moment, I have posted a recent video called Monophobia. It is a short film about the severity of suicide and depression, and I am so proud of what I've managed to achieve with that short film. It took 7 months in total to complete. That concludes planning and filming. So thank you so much for all the comments and the views. Please go share it because I am so proud of what it is, of what it conveys. So thank you so much. But that is not what this video is about. This video is about this beautiful thing that I have on my screen back here, Dragon Age Inquisition Trespasser. I have been playing games since I, quit YouTube, and I'm super excited to be sharing my thoughts and opinions with you guys about the last DLC for Dragon Age Inquisition. So let's get on with the review.
Your duty is done. It is time to end your magic. Kill the Inquisitor.
Damn it! We save Ferelden, and they're angry. We save Orlais, and they're angry. We closed the breach twice, and my own hand wants to kill me. Could one thing in this fucking world just stay fixed? I need you. Who's with me?
I suspect you have questions.
Since the final installment in the Mass Effect franchise, BioWare ought to be practiced veterans at being able to conclude a film-quality-like production, or so one would think. Although the entire Larkin cast was present, the landscapes were vibrant and beautiful, and we were once again faced with a fire-breathing dragon, there was something seriously missing from Trespasser. Devotion. Unlike the Citadel DLC, where the players were able to laugh and love with the characters that they had adored for a period of 6 years, Dragon Age Inquisition Trespasser brought a disillusioned end to a very wavering series. Although Dragon Age Inquisition Trespasser was supposed to be the last hurrah for this series, I was so disenchanted by it because I loved the Inquisition base game so much that this just felt so forced and tried and purposeful that nothing was relaxed in it. Nothing just allowed the game to breathe, and it was really disappointing to see. In short, you as the Inquisitor once again face world domination and destruction, not like it's anything unusual, and of course the entanglements of political intrigue and more like irritation. You are able to briefly interact with the characters, and although it is limited, it's quite interesting to see what they're up to, and of course if you've romanced a character in the game, there is a little fleeting intimate romantic moment, which is kind of cute, but in my case it was kind of just like, what? And of course we finally found out what happened to Solus. Bloody Solus, who irritated basically everyone from the ending of Dragon Age Inquisition. Like, really? And of course, again, we only find out what happened to him to a certain extent. Trust BioWare to leave its audiences still absent of a freaking resolution. Trespasser picks up 2 years after the events of the main game, and this game separation time allows the characters, your friends and your comrades, to have established themselves independently in the post-Corypheus universe. The Inquisition as an organization has brought about stability and order to Thedas, and allowing peace between Orlais and Ferelden to consequently exist, although they're always going to be volatile and unpredictable. That's never going to change. The Inquisitor has been summoned to the Winter Palace again at the request of both of those universal states because they are both kind of questioning why the Inquisition still exists. Believing that they are no longer at the foot of doom, to put it that way, Orlais believes that the Inquisition should, come under the control of Orlais, and Ferelden believes that it should be, stripped of all its control and power completely. The Inquisitor, on the other hand, has no idea why she or he is there. It makes no sense. Because although there's all this political crap going on, which it's just alluded to, it's not really going on at all, this plot of absolute nonsense and clandestine crap unfolds, where the Inquisition finds out that essentially there is a whole frickin' tribe of Canari travelling through the Alluvians to to annihilate the southern kingdoms, and somehow the elves are unanimously involved in this plot. Why, BioWare? Why? I'm aware that I'm definitely describing Trespasser like I hate it to the bone. And I don't hate it. I'm just incredibly confused at the storyline. I mean, there are obviously codex pages to explain what's going on in, like, tidbits, and there are all these, like, little pop-ups that explain more things to you. But I'm still confused. Regardless, it was super awesome to be able to travel back to the Winter Palace. The grandeur of that location is amazing and it looks beautiful. I honestly felt like in those locations the graphics just upped a notch completely. And I loved the idea of it being 2 years past. That was amazing. That introduction, I absolutely loved the introduction of Trespasser. It felt like nostalgic because it had been a year since I'd played the game. And it just felt so beautiful to see all the characters again, and I got so excited until the story began to unravel. That's when it kind of just went downhill for me, and it almost felt like the game was entirely kind of like up and down, because I loved the interaction with the characters, even though they were brief, minimal. But I hated other components and I loved some components, so it's a very kind of game for me right now. The length of the DLC may have been minimal, with approximately 7 hours of gameplay. I know some people complete it in 5. I completed it in 7. I tried to make it last as long as possible. It didn't work. But then again, after 2 trips from Orlais to the Alluvian Crossroads, I was already beginning to feel how repetitive the entire game was going to be. If I have to press F to enter the Alluvian, one more time, I am actually going to break my computer screen. Because there is an Alluvian every 5 seconds, and every Alluvian is a goddamn loading screen. Okay, it is 2015, people. There are games that don't need to load like that. What are you doing? It's like they've gone back a step, because there are so many Alluvians which enter into another place, you know, an extension of that place, because there aren't that many places. It was a freaking loading screen, and I don't think I was that pissed off because it took a while. Some of them took way longer than necessary, and it was so annoying. I'm gonna rage in a minute because that was actually almost the most annoying part of the entire game, was the loading screens and an Alluvian every 5 seconds. Okay, another point. Periodically arriving back at Orlais after every, set mission, it almost felt like levels. I got no chance to explore the world in the crossroads in the Alluvian area. So I've got my notes down here just to remind me of things. I wanted to explore more. And then again, I couldn't do that either because the entire game was linear. Oh my god, there was nothing to explore. There was no, valuable loot to get. The books were kind of boring. And occasionally you just have these really random conversations that were of no significance. And I'm just like, what? Since when did BioWare take a step backwards? It was so frustrating. Those 2 components, the loading screens and the Alluvians every 5 seconds, and the fact that the entire game was so linear that there was no point in exploring any of it. Yes, the world was bright, effervescent, beautiful, vibrant, so many gorgeous things. I never suffered from visual boredom. Yes, the world had new locations, haunted libraries, and freaking inverted platforms. But the game held my hand through the entirety of the freaking DLC. It was like I wasn't able to, trudge off the path, per se. I had to keep on this straight line. And it was so annoying because I would have liked to go, up there. And I couldn't, if that makes sense. It was like the game the developers of the DLC, or if it was the same people from, I don't know, Inquisition itself, wanted to really focus on this soulless issue. That they completely forgot about the enjoyment of the player's enjoyment in being able to explore this open span that they had emphasized in Inquisition itself was gone. Gone. Just abolished. Combat was sufficiently difficult. It was challenging, which was good. I enjoyed that the tactical camera and the action component of the combat worked well interwoven together, which was great. Although admittedly, because of the amount of narrow corridors and claustrophobic spaces, which were awesome to fight in because it provided that extra difficulty, you could not use tactical camera in those areas. I tried at one point to bring everyone out into the open. Everyone just loved the doorway. I mean, that's fine, but I wanted to be more tactical and I couldn't, so. You win, you lose in those situations, but the combat was quite difficult, which I thought provided that extra challenge and enjoyment that the game didn't exactly have for me the entire way through. I actually figured out in this DLC that Varric is a completely worthless character in the combat regard, because otherwise he's amazing, but he is the reason that all my health potions go from 12 to 1 in like 5 seconds, because he just gets eaten alive. And it's like he just stands there and doesn't shoot anyone. Hey, look at me, I got a weapon. I'm not doing anything with it. But you know, that's cool. Trespasser's strength undeniably lies with its engaging deliverance of party banter and character development and emotions. I absolutely loved being able to play catch up with the characters. I can't even express how interesting it was and how much I missed talking to Varric about Kirkwall and Hawk and his little witty fucking comments, and seeing Cullen just being so adorable and manly with a puppy. Dog, whatever. He is a dreamy on all levels. And Cassandra giving me advice about Cullen and proposing, it was just so cute. And although it was cringeworthy at times, I loved it. That was my absolute highlight for the entire game. Seeing the characters again, amazing. One moment in the game that really stood out for me was the emotion that my female Inquisitor projected. I cannot even express how just gratified I felt by her being angry or sad or just tired. She felt so tired, and her just yelling at the top of her lungs saying, you know, I'm just so fucking pissed. It was just, I felt like it was needed. It was so needed, and I'm so glad that they did that. So glad. And I have watched actually some videos on YouTube of the male Inquisitor. I'm sorry, but that voice acting needs to go down a toilet. Because there's no emotion in that voice. It's like monotone. I am a robot. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm so sad. I'm so tired. I'm so mad, angry. It pissed me off. Like, I'm so glad I never played a male. It's like, I'm pretty sure they made this role for females this time. And it was awesome. So good. During the last 10 minutes of Trespasser, the questions that sprouted at the end of Inquisition, the base game, were finally resolved. Although you did have to go through a series of very repetitive and draining combat sequences, which by the end of it I wanted to just crawl up into a ball, because they were so just crap. Although this isn't a spoiler-free review, I don't want to spoil the DLC at the end, because I think that is something that everyone deserves to find out on their own, what happened to Solus. Although I have to say that I was very impressed with BioWare's ability to use the Dragon Age lore to an extent to explain what happened to Solus and why he is who he is and who he is as a character, actually. So I was really satisfied that BioWare didn't just treat Dragon Age like they had done with other series in the past and make up things on the spot, which it felt like for Mass Effect, the last ending, but let's not get into that drama. It's like been years and gone. But I was actually quite impressed with that, and I was pleased with it. You know, it wasn't the most, exciting thing in the world, but I think that everyone will feel resolved and feel at ease when they find out what happened to Solus. Although in complete contradiction, the person who decided that there needed to be an epilogue of essentially dead, unmoving images with writing just stitched at the top needs to be shaken 100,000 times. Because I was so focused on trying to read the really fast-paced writing that appeared at the top of the screen that I couldn't even focus on the drawings that were kind of interesting, and I just lost it. Like at the end it just decided we're just gonna take this, put it here, and it'll work. And it didn't. That was so annoying. I just wanted to be able to hear the voice of like an omnipresent narrator, or maybe Varric explaining everything, or the Inquisitor, or Soulless, somebody else just actually explaining it with a voiceover, because the lack of voiceover just made it drab and boring. I couldn't even see the pictures because I was freaking reading the writing. And we can breathe again, because the wars are over, the fighting's done, the characters can go back to their somewhat normalized lives if they had them before, and we can finally rest easy with knowing all, or at least some of the answers to our questions about Soulless. But with the addition of the second epilogue at the end of the game, it's definitely known that the series is not ending yet. BioWare is definitely not finished, with elves flocking to join Soulless's army and the Inquisitor basically saying we've got to find him, because it seems like the stories aren't over and we don't have to miss the characters for too long. And that's it. That's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, give it a good one of these thumbs up, leave a comment, please share with your friends. I'm hoping to get back into this game that we know as YouTube, and I would like some support on the way. So definitely leave your criticisms. I'm totally open to that. I want to be a better talker to this camera, because I feel like last time, which you cannot see those videos anymore, I was exceedingly fake. I felt like I was talking fake, but I'm not. This is just my voice. I don't know. So hopefully it's good. I'm also going to leave a link in the description below for my blog post, which is the actual finalized, properly written review for Dragon Age Inquisition Trespasser, that you can have a look at and read if you like. So definitely check that out, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye!